Well, so far 10 of your distinguished people have raised issues which are multiples of that 10. I know, from ranging from politics to the economics to such an other areas. But first of all, let me share with you the concern that we have today is that much of these issues are being talked of in the dimensions of the past, which no longer exist. You are today talking of a level playing field between big capital and small capital. That is policy of the past. Today it's a favored policy to encourage the big capital. So if that has to be stopped and reversed back to a level playing field for all, small and big, then it has to be a resistance or a movement that has to be built up. We are there to help you. But you also have to rise on your own to say that this is something that is not acceptable. And we will support you fully. That is why I said the farmers' struggle in the north that took place, and even here, I'm sure that year-long thing, that had set in motion certain new processes in India, which I think you are also must be aware as MSM, basically the non-big capital, to become participants in that. One is what? That this farmer struggle united when obviously what was the objective? The objective of the farm laws was to hand over Indian agriculture to big agribusiness, both Indian and multinational. And that would have meant the ruin of our farmers, the ruin of our agriculture, that would have meant the ruin of our food security. And also eternal dependence on imports, leading up to man-made famines, etc. Old British, this situation back. Now that united the entire farming community, including sections of the rich peasant, who normally would never go with the poor peasant, politically. They have their own contradiction. But all of them came together realizing this danger, which is a very positive thing. They managed to get the laws repealed. And along with these agri laws, which is part of the larger framework of handing over everything to big agribusiness as far as agriculture is concerned, the same logic is working for the rest of the economy in the economic philosophy. Hand over much of what when my initial opening remarks, what I said was handing over everything to the big corporates and what I would call chronic, corporates. And that is why this corporate communal nexus that I specifically defined that. That is the overall framework in which this is happening. So therefore, this is happening in all other fields. That is created according to us, created a new contradiction between big capital and non-big capital. Your MSMEs, the earlier limit that was raised for your small-scale industries in terms of the cap and capital permission, the fact that was increased. Now how much is it? 5 crores for a small scale. No.
Micro is 5. Small scale.
Sorry?
Micro is 5 crores, sir.
Micro is 5, yeah. Micro is 5 now. And
it is gone to 50, sir.
50.
Turnover come to 50 crores.
50
Medium
crores.
to 50 crores.
Now, if that is, what is small about that 50 crores? Anybody, any subsidiary of any one of your big corporates can actually take over much of that small sector in the vacuum. So it's actually taking over this terrain which belongs to small capital by the big capital. All these new, this whole thrust of the new policy is saying that there is only big corporates that are really the ones that need to be encouraged. So all the others need not get any sort of a separate treatment. Many of the issues that were raised were differential treatment for big capital and small capital. Yes, sir, we'll try, we'll make that effort. But their effort will also have to be made. That is what we said in many other parts of the country, particularly in Maharashtra. We're seeing a large sections of these MSME organizations who are actually reaching out to the left parties, saying that let us give. So there's a new sort of an alliance, sort of an alliance, if I may say. And you are charging us saying that we always support the workers. And they are now telling us that your new allies are these industrial people. So you're going with that. Now it's no longer that old rivalry between the working class and the, you're, as he said, you're also, MSME is also a worker now. Now, therefore, we'll have to resist this record. We'll have to resist it from, because there's a political dimension involved. But unfortunately, you cannot also, diverse yourself from that political reality, because if this political trajectory continues, there is nothing called the non-big, capital that will survive in a few years from now. Like a Marxist, because Marx in Capital says over a period of time, the tendency under capitalism is for the big fish to gobble up the small fish. Over a period of time, there will be larger and larger capitalists, but they will be smaller and smaller in number. That is the law of capitalism that Marx had discovered. But the resistance to that, you tend to not allow that to happen so that others can survive. We are in that conjuncture now. So all the issues that you're saying, differential GST rates, differential labor laws, differential treatment for the big and small, how can we treat? Correct, absolutely correct, I would agree with them entirely. But in the present situation, to expect that will happen, that won't happen by its own, even by logic, even by persuasion. It will only happen by a collective effort of all of us, because the workers, because we are pro-workers, as you said, the workers require you to survive, otherwise they will not survive. And for you to survive, you will require the support of the workers and the workers' party, so that you will also survive. So a new alignment is in the offing. So we should all be prepared for that. We recognize that this is happening. For example, on your GST rates, you're saying you have an increase from 12 to 18%. Today was the eating in Coimbatore, normal, our Sapadam, Appadam, 18% to 28%. And Appadam, and the GST on that is from 18 to 28%. Now, if you're only 12 to 18%. And normally when you have rasam and Appadam, you're not into the soup or anything. Just imagine what is being paid. And then every day they tom saying economy is in great health. Look at the GST collection. You don't have to be trained in economics. Common sense will tell you that as prices rise, GST collection will rise. It's your common sense, no GST is on price. So higher the inflation, the higher the GST collection. And that you say is the health of the economy. Is good health of the economy. Now this is the sort of a situation that we are all stuck in today. So that framework you please keep in mind. But within that framework, the question of prices for agricultural produce, that is the biggest struggle. That was part of the whole struggle for the last 1 year at Delhi that the farmers had. Again, they promised MS Swaminathan Commission report, minimum support price for all crops, for all farmers. Prime Minister himself said that when he withdrew the agri laws. But now nearly a year is going by. Nothing, it doesn't, again, another struggle will have to be required for that. But we are trying, you're right, absolutely. What Mr. Balasundram said, there is low returns for agricultural sector. That is the basis. It ties up with the larger issue also is talking. Low returns for agricultural sector means lower levels of the domestic demand in the economy. Lower levels of domestic demand in the economy is more depressing the entire avenues for economic growth. So these are issues that we will take up as on the question of electricity company. Yes, there are various running issues that are involved in it. But this is surprising. I never knew that state electricity discoms are actually resisting non-renewable energy. What?
Discourage.
They're discouraging.
Yes.
This is this is also new information to me. I didn't hear. But they can't. It's against state policy, basically.
No, sir, if you go for non-renewable energy, nobody will be there to buy from them.
No, that logic I know, sir. But what I'm saying is, it's state policy to encourage non-renewable energy, and that is why I'm finding it surprising that the state discoms are discouraging it.
Sir, in wind season, they don't evacuate the wind power.
Oh, they don't.
They don't evacuate the wind power.
Oh,
They limit. They don't allow new solar installations.
Wind season.
Yes.
Windmills are stopped, but purposely stopped without running.
Without running during the wind season.
This is information. This is not running. That we'll have to. I don't know. We'll have to find out if it's also.
EB minister is in charge of this district.
Anyway, this is something that we'll examine because, as I told you, this is information that is new to me. And data issues, you are saying, sir. You are absolutely correct. Data issues. When this is a no data government. So you are saying village officer doesn't go to the to the lands to collect the proper data.
Some of the irregularities, anomalies. Just an example I have told you. There are so many things in land records.
This is the largest problem with data, sir. We have excellent data, collecting organizations in our country. In my generation, when we were taught economics, there was a course called the data source of the Indian economy, the database of the Indian economy. And we had, your CSO, your the sample survey data, on all these surveys, National Health Survey, wonderful data. But today what is happening is the data doesn't suit the political objective of the government at the center, the data is suppressed or distorted. So if the Prime Minister's office is doing it, why will the village officer go to a land, sir? He learns from that example. No, he said, if they don't want data, then why should I bother and go and collect? That is the unfortunate part. It's not that I'm justifying what they're doing. But that is the reality we have to change. We have a very, very rich and a very accurate database for our economy. But if that is going to be dealt with on the basis of political objectives, then even God, people who believe in God, even He can't help you.
Yes, we said if it is all digitalized and made transparent, these type of things get.
Sir, your National Health and Family and Health Data Survey, which happens once in 5 years, is entirely digitalized. Your National Sample Survey organizations, the large data, the survey which happens periodically, once in 8 years or so, that is entirely digitalized. That showed a phenomenal increase in the growth of poverty and malnutrition levels in our country. Both were suppressed. Parliament was told that there are methodological issues involved in it. They are being corrected. And that data, naturally in India it leaks out, it leaked out and then everybody knew what is the reality. There is a 9% fall in the real earnings of people in rural India. A 9% fall is huge. Of real incomes. That means there is absolute impoverishment that is taking place. And how do you expect the economy to grow with this? And when there is no, when the demand levels will fall so drastically. So this is the problem with the data issue, but it's a larger issue. But you're right, we'll have to take it up. But it's also there in our. And the other issue, foreign capital, why are more concessions given to it? this government encouraging foreign capital to come.
That's why.
No, it is their policy to say that foreign capitals come. See, again, it ties up with the larger issue. You see, that is where I'm urging you also to actually think. The interconnections between the various aspects of the reality today. Like no difference between the big and small capitalist is part of the logic of encouraging big capital and enlisting their support for the political project of the present government. That is the corporate communal nexus that I'm talking about. The big capital, the capital, whether it's Adani, Ambani, whatever that is, they are the ardent, most biggest supporters of that entire conception of what India should be. Present India should be converted into, where it no longer rests on the basis of the Indian constitution, but it will have to be on the basis of their conception of their Hindutva Rashtra. Likewise, they want the support of foreign capital to this project. Why is it none of the Western countries who talk so much about human rights? Why is it that you will have people in India under detention for 3 years without charges being framed? Father Stan dies under custody. But why there is no human cry globally? How can I, suppose I'm a journalist and I say something about this government, and then you say that what I'm saying is wrong, and you put me in jail, and still there that Siddiq, Kappan Siddiq from Kerala? In UP. All that he did was to go to report on the brutal gang rape and murder of a Dalit girl in that Hathras village. He's behind bars in UAP.
Sai Baba.
Huh?
Sai Baba.
Sai Baba. That 90% disabled, a professor in Delhi University. I know him also personally, but in the Delhi University, the same. But, none of these are bothered. They are not bothered about all this. Why? Because you have unrestricted access to foreign capital to come to our country to maximize their profits and for them to thrive. So that is why I'm imploring upon all of you. Think of all these larger connections. Why is the small things not happening? It's logical, as far as what you're saying. There should be differential set of rules for foreign capital. No differential set of rules for foreign capital and domestic. But why are the differential set of rules? It's not that some madman there is deciding. There's a logic to it which is operating with a certain objective. So the support of domestic big capital, the support of foreign capital for a political project of converting our secular democratic republic of India, as we know of it, as our constitution talks about it, into their version of what is called what I would call a fascistic Hindu Rashtra, or what that is. Now that is something that requires the support of both in large capital in India and foreign capital. So that is why for us, when you say religion, etc., why are we not, why are we opposing religion? We are not opposing religion at all. I'm saying religion is your business, and I respect your decision. You decide what religion was to be. I respect your decision. I'll ensure that your right is guaranteed. It cannot be violated. Please go where you want to go, pray to whom you want to pray. But you don't tell the other person, then my God is better than your God. That I'll oppose. Who a person chooses to be his or her God, please, with all respect, you have that, your right should be guaranteed, and we'll respect that. But you have no right to go and tell the other person that my God is better than yours. And then therefore, I won't treat you as a human being. That's not religion. So that is what we stand for. That's it. Respect religion at its place. That is the individual choice of every individual whom he or she wants to choose to put faith in. So it's not because we don't support the religion, but why are they coming and hurting the religious sentiments? Why are you supporting those who attack Hinduism? Exactly what I'm saying. I don't support anybody attacking any religion. I neither support anybody attacking Hindu religion, nor do I support anybody attacking Islam religion or Christianity. That's it. Religion has its own space within the individual, in the realm of individual choice. So it's not a question of who is opposing whom you are supporting, etc. Please accept one reality in India with our diversity. Malayalis observe Onam because return of Mahabali for one day in 1 year after Vishnu in Vamana Avatara kills him. In the North India, the same day is observed as the death of Mahabali for liberating the Hindus from the Rakshasas. Now, who is a good Hindu, who is a bad Hindu? Malayali celebrates the return of Mahabali, come to life, Onam. In North India, they celebrate the same day Onam as the death of Mahabali, that liberated human being. So tell me, who is a good Hindu, who is a bad Hindu, sir? So why go into this point of breaking your head and saying, I'll give you a certificate of who is a good Hindu, bad Hindu? So leave that to individual space, to individual people. So that is why I better, but on the tea industry that you mentioned, when these are issues I also didn't realize, but noted it down, so we'll, the Nilgiri thing you're talking about, no? Yeah, green tea, yeah, that's why you get into a lot of complicated matters. In WTO, you know, for Darjeeling tea, we fought and got that geographical location status. Now that is a big thing for international trade facilities that you get. So we'll have to just examine it, see how it fits into the all India context of it. And Mr. Chandran was talking about cotton transparency. I don't know if you recollect the story of Dhirubhai Ambani. How that entire empire was built. Because of that, one of the reasons for lack of transparency on the cotton pricing, that's how he started his whole thing. But anyway, he was a very creative man, but he showed his abilities. But this is a very big issue that we'll have to actually examine, and but there'll be big resistance to it. That's the whole problem. And this government being there, I don't think they'll be able to overcome the resistance from big houses. But it will be something we'll have to fight for. Only one final comment I want to make. So please understand that we are not anti-industry or anti-capitalism or anti this thing. Our whole point is that today in India, if we have to strengthen our economy, it should benefit the largest number of people. That is what you were talking of the Gini coefficient. I mean, I don't think any country in the 21st century you will find the Gini growing the way it is growing in India. And Thomas Piketty's study has actually shown that, particularly about India, the growth of inequalities is one of the worst things that is happening. It is the worst in the world today, the growth of inequalities anywhere in any country. So in these conditions, the point is in the coming days, whether we like it or not, whether you agree with the Communist Party or the name Communist, or whether I agree with industry or capital or capitalism, etc., you will find that increasingly you and we will have to work together if we have to move forward and save Earth.
I agree.
That is the objective reality. The sooner we realize, the better for all of us. That is why I would only feel, because most of these problems fall within the larger dimension of what is happening in the country. And that is it. Whether we want to survive and in fact forget thriving, even surviving, then we'll have to be together in doing this. So thank you once again for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for enlarging my vision also with many problems that I didn't know that they existed. So thank you very much.